Right.
You know,
Right.
bring it into reality. You know. But yeah, man, that's kind of what how I feel and think about things. I don't know if that's kind of the area that you were.
No, that was. I mean, because that's exactly. You know, I see people all the time, and we see people, and a lot of times, like I'll be driving and I'll see somebody in a car, and they have a nice little car, but I think as us being trained gentlemen in business, I used to see people and used to see cars and be like, wow, that person probably got it going on. But now that I know the behind the scenes,
Right.
it could be like that person's in debt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They are double slaves from their job to their car to their house.
Absolutely.
Because if they don't do their job,
Mm-hmm.
what their boss says, they could lose their house, their car,
Right.
everything. And that's not being free. That's actually, because if somebody gets sick, or God forbid one of their children gets sick, will they be able to say, hey, look, I got to take however much time it is for my kid to go into the hospital and get out and still be able to pay my house, my car, and say, tell your job, or still have a job afterwards.
Right.
You know, that's a big thing.
Yeah, and
people don't see it.
Absolutely, and I've seen, just to speak on what you just said. I've seen many a times where people have strived to get that dream house or to strive to get that dream car, and within 6 months to a year, that dream that dream house has now become their worst nightmare.
Right.
Why? Because they're struggling trying to figure out how to pay the note on that thing. Right. The same thing with that car. That dream car has now become a nightmare.
Right.
Because it's always work and toil and struggle to keep it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I got to make this car note. I got to make this house note. Right? Why? Because some things changed at the job. I mean, we live here in Houston, which is a big energy city.
Right.
And we just seen thousands of people just get laid off from their jobs around Christmas time.
Yeah. My neighbor, my next door neighbor, he's gone. He went back home because they let him go. He worked in the oil industry. Oil's not doing like they wanted it to do.
Right.
He had to kick rocks.
Right.
I mean,
And these people making strong income.
Exactly. And then not just that, the guy, he was older. It wasn't like a young gentleman. This dude was like 50, 60.
Right.
What do you do after that, after you did that so many years? Where can you go?
Right.
And it's if you don't set yourself up right now, saving money, finding something separately that you can build wealth and an income, you're going to be just like everybody else. I always put it like, if somebody's talking to you about somebody else, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be talking to somebody else about you.
Right.
So that's the same thing. Just like you see people that has been in the past that you known or heard about losing their job and not having somewhere to go, that same thing can happen to you.
Yeah.
And you have to realize that. And you have to say, hey, I'm not Superman. I'm not super set. It's not set in stone. And even if it is, they could throw it on the ground and it'll break. Stone breaks just like anything else.
Right.
So don't sit there and be like, okay, well, I have this kind of degree or this and that. Once you get to a certain point, you got to remember, there's people being born every day.
Right.
They can replace you with a younger, faster version. Just like you do your car, that's how they going to do other people.
Right.
And you got to keep that mindset of what makes me different from everybody else. Like Mark Cuban said, it's 2 types of people. It's the people who create the product, and it's the people who use the product. His whole goal was to try to learn the product as fast as he can so he can be above everybody else.
Right.
That's a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
But that's focusing on, hey, I have a goal. I need to figure out if I'm not making it, what can I do to give me that edge?
Right.
You have to have that edge.
Right. And I feel like you got to find out what's available to you.
Yeah.
And then you have to look 5, 10, 15 years down the road and say to yourself, what do I want my life to look like?
Right.
And then you got to ask yourself, is the job or the career I'm in right now, can it deliver?
Right. And be honest with yourself.
Right. Can it deliver that?
Right.
If it can't deliver it, then you need to be working on a game plan to either get out of that situation
Yeah.
or add another
Right.
source of income to that to make sure that you can have the lifestyle that you want.
Yeah.
I think too many times we get caught up in the right now.
Right.
You know, because we have so many financial obligations coming at us, different things we need to get done. Kids need that, wife needs this, whatnot, and we get caught in this situation, and we get what I like to call the golden handcuffs. You know, these two gentlemen that I was speaking about earlier, you know, they're both young, you know, so they don't really have family yet.
Right.
But what I like to call is the golden handcuffs. What the golden handcuffs is, we paying you just enough where it feels good. You might have a little something left over after each paycheck.
Right.
But it's not the great life.
Right.
See, a lot of times the enemy of a great life is a good life.
Right.
Right. And when you got a good life, you tend to settle and scale back and say, you know what, I'm doing better than most people.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I'm doing better than most people. And
Yeah.
then you miss out on a great life because you settle for a good life. Right. And that's not freedom. Right. My Bible says we're supposed to go from glory to glory.
Right.
Right. From faith to faith. Right. And you need to make that process. So a lot of times we scale back our goals and dreams, right, to fit our income. Right. I'm not going to do that.
No.
I have goals, dreams, objectives,
Right.
things that I want to accomplish in life to give my life significance. And I'm not going to scale that back
Right.
to fit the income
Right.
I have. No, I'm going to raise my income.
Right.
I'm going to raise my resources in order to fit the goals, dreams, and objectives that I have for myself. Right? That makes more sense.
It makes sense.
That makes more sense. So we sit back and just settle. Don't settle. You know what I mean? It said that how the saying goes, it says that the opposite of success is not failure.
Right.
The opposite of success is settling. Right? And
Right.
we find that so many times, and so many people go through life and they just settle and they didn't go for it.
Yeah.
And they didn't search for true freedom.
Right.
You know.
So if you're not every year analyzing what you did last year and what you can do this year, if you're not doing that, then you're definitely not going to make it, because you're not able to see everything laid out in black and white,
Mm-hmm.
where you were last year and did you accomplish your goals. And if the answer is no, then you're going to have to put two and two together. You're going to have to do something. You got to put a plan together. Sometimes it's going to take you, sometimes it's going to take for you to get help, experience. You know, people who are out there. You know, I tell people, you know how the rich stay rich? Because they got somebody showing them.
Right.
You can't, you know, if you don't know how to fly a helicopter, you can't teach me how to fly a helicopter.
No, sure
You know what I'm
can't.
saying?
No.
Just because we've seen helicopters fly before
Right.
don't mean that I know how to do it.
Right.
And people have that where just because, oh, their mom and dad didn't grow up poor,
Mm-hmm.
you know, where they have to eat out of garbage cans, then, oh, yeah, I'm good, I'll make it, I'll figure it out.
Right.
How can you figure it out if you've never done it?
Right.
You know, that's why doctors go to school for so many years, because it ain't nothing to figure out.
Right.
And it's the same thing with money. Just because you have it in your hand don't mean you're going to figure it out how to do it. You
Right.
know, you sit there and you let people who have money, you know, Warren Buffett, when you look, you know, I looked him up the other day and it's like $66.7 billion. You think he just figured it out?
No, he had to learn it, and he sat down, he studied his craft, he studied this industry, and he sought out mentors,
Yeah.
people that have gone before him, and he was able to take that knowledge that they gave him and then increase it, you know, and take it to another level, you know, and I think we all have to do that. I think so many times people are fighting for mediocrity.
Right.
You know, I see people fighting for promotions and they fighting for advancement at their job. And even when you get that advancement, even when you get that promotion, it still does not have the ability to deliver.
Right.
Right? So you fighting for mediocrity. Why would you fight for mediocrity? Why would you fight for average? If I'm going to fight for anything, it's going to be for phenomenal.
Right.
Right? If I'm going to fight for anything, it's going to be for abundance, for true prosperity, for freedom. I'm not going to fight to stay in slavery.
Right.
I'm not going to fight to stay average. I'm not going to fight to stay in lack. Why would you do that? That makes no sense. And that's what frustrates me the most, is I see people fight and backbite and talk down on other people in order so they can get a promotion. I see people be told what to do, what they can't do, be talked down to, and take it just so they can stay in mediocrity. I can't. That frustrates the hell out of me. You know. And then you talk to these people, and it almost gets to the point where when you talk to them, you start to feel stupid. You know, like, am I wrong?
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
Right.
maybe my thought process is unrealistic.
Right.
You know, and you start, well, maybe there's something wrong with me.
Right.
You know, because
Right.
people they don't get it. You know, and you start questioning yourself, and then
Right.
you start getting back around your group
Right.
of people. Then you're
People.
okay, I'm good.
Right.
All right, I'm not crazy.
All right.
You know.
See, that oldness has been so deep within the root of their generations.
Mhm.
That's why they, you know, you could tell somebody